The funny thing is, it's all in the Bible. Y'all got Bibles, bro? That's crazy. All y'all got Bibles in y'all house, man. Y'all don't read them. That's why the Most High say, blessed is he that readeth. Y'all don't read them. That's why when y'all come out here, y'all walk past the camp, y'all listen to what we saying, it sounds crazy to y'all. It's in your book. Open the book and read it, genius. Let's get Acts. Let's get Acts. Let's get Acts, right? Because I bet y'all didn't know nigga was in the Bible. I bet you ain't know nigga was in the Bible. Right? Jesus, who you call Jesus, was teaching niggas, man. Let's say Yahushua walked the earth during this time. He would have been teaching drug addicts and pill poppers and niggas selling loose ones. He would have been with the killers and the gorillas, man. He wouldn't have been in no damn Anne Arundel County. No fuck, he wouldn't have been in no Salisbury, Maryland. He would have been in Cherry Hill, right? He would have been down the hill. He would have been in the worst neighborhoods in America if Jesus walked the earth today. He was born in one of the worst neighborhoods in Judea. You get research about Nazareth, man. Who you call Jesus was born in one of the worst communities in Judea. Why they don't teach you that? Because they don't want you to have no relation with your big brother, with your Lord and Savior. This is the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. And now there were in the church that was at Antioch. Now, do y'all know where Antioch is today? Antioch is in modern day Turkey, southeastern Turkey. That's where Antioch is at, right? Now, if you listen to the so-called white man, he'll tell you it was nothing but white people in Antioch, which that isn't true. That's not true. But we're going to prove that using the Bible. Forget what I got to say. I ain't nobody. I ain't nobody. This is Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger. That's in the Bible. Let's read it again. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch. Once again, Antioch is in modern day Turkey, southeastern Turkey, like near the Syrian border. Now there were at the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger. It's in the Bible. Now, when you go into the blue letter Bible, you actually go into the word. I ain't got the internet on this phone right here. I just use it for the Bible. I got the internet on this phone that I'm using to record. But if you go to the Strongs, it'll literally show you the pronunciation if you think I'm lying. Because people like to twist it and say, it's Niger, it's Niger. First of all, Niger didn't even exist back then. It was nigger, and it pronounces as nigger. Nigger, they just added one G. That's all they did was add a G to it. Now, if these was white people, why are they being called nigger? And also, in the NLT, which is the New Living Translation, they literally translate it as the black man. Instead of putting nigger there, they literally put the black man. If I had the internet, I would show you. I'm not a liar. If I had the internet, I would show you. Nigger is in the Bible. Once again, I'll read it again. But in other translations, it's literally translated as the black man. They don't want you to know this. Because they don't want you to know that the people in this book look just like you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. This whole Bible is about our people. This is our history book. This is our Constitution. But let's continue, though. Let me read it one more time. Now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger. Okay? Now, let's get Matthew's the 13th chapter. Because I want to put emphasis on who the world called Jesus' background, man. You understand? This is Matthew's chapter 13, and let's start at verse 53. And it came to pass that when Jesus had finished these parables, he departed thence. And when he was coming to his home country, which we know is the city of Nazareth, right? Which we just proved that the city of Nazareth was inhabited by so-called, what you would call niggers, black people, people of color, right? It was the hood. Nazareth was the ghetto, right? And when he came into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, and so much as they were astonished, and said, whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother Mary, and his brothers, and his brethren James, Joseph, Simon, and Judith? So they talking shit about who the world called Jesus. They said, who this nigga think he is? Ain't that Joseph's son? Ain't his mother named Mary? Didn't we watch him and his siblings grow up? That's what they're saying. They talking crap about Yahushua, right? Who the world called Jesus. Let's continue. And it says, and his sisters, are they not all with us? Like, do not his sisters still stay in the city of Nazareth, right? Whence then have this man all these things? And they were offended in him. So they was mad at the things that Yahushua was saying. He was prophesizing, probably was rebuking them, right? Doing miracles and all kinds of mighty works. They were offended because they like, we watched this nappy-headed nigga grow up around us. And now all of a sudden he's some great prophet. Like, you know what niggas do, right? But Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor save in his own country and in his own house. Which that is so true, man. Yahushua spoke true words. Right? You think any of my homeboys that I grew up with look at me as a prophet? Look at me as a man of the Lord? They think I'm geeking. This nigga bugged out. This nigga stopped smoking weed. He stopped smoking cigarettes. He stopped selling drugs. This nigga stopped being a whore. He did all that to preach outside. You think my homeboys and my friends look at me as a prophet? That's what Jesus was saying. A prophet have no honor in his own country and in his own house. My wife don't even look at me like a prophet. I've been with her for 20 years since I was 14 years old. That's because she known me before I came into the truth. So these people that's talking stuff about who the world called Jesus, they watched him grow up. And now he's doing miracles, right? He's breaking down in-depth scriptures, right? Going over the dark sayings. They really probably jealous for real, envious, because they ain't got the spirit on them that Yahushua had on them, right? All right, but let's continue. And he did not many works there because of their unbelief. So remember, this is Nazareth, right? The ghetto, the hood, right? A bad area. That's what Nazareth was. And he said he didn't do many mighty works in his own hometown. I'm sure he wanted to, but he didn't. Why? Because of their unbelief. And that's how it is in every black community in America. It's rooted in unbelief. Nazareth was no different from Cherry Hill. Nazareth was no different from 10 North. Nazareth was no different from Emerson Village. Nazareth was no different from any black and Latino community. They ain't give a damn about no Most High. They ain't give a damn about keeping the law. They ain't give a damn about being brothers. It's the same spirit that's in all black and Latino communities. The same spirit. I'm just showing you that this man was not a white guy. And he didn't grow up with a silver spoon. Now let's get Acts as well. Let's jump back to Acts, bro. This is Acts chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter, matter of fact, no, let's get verse 30. That's the point. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Now remember, this is Jesus of Nazareth, right? Peter just said, this man was slew and hanged on a tree. What other people you know that were hanged on trees? Huh? Because I don't know no white people who are hung on trees, right? But Jesus was hung on a tree. It just said it in the Bible. Jesus, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Did you know that the crucifixion and lynching and those type of murders, that was capital punishment for the slave class in Rome? But Jesus was a white man, right? Crucifixion was capital punishment for the slave class of Rome. Wasn't no white people being crucified. Wasn't no white people getting put on no cross. That's history. That's not racism. That's history. Show me a white man being crucified. Once again, that was capital punishment for the slave class. And they got that from the Babylonians. The Babylonians was doing that to the Jews. The same thing the Romans were doing to the Jews. You think it's a coincidence that who the world called Jesus was a Jew and he got hung on a tree too? I guess that's a coincidence, right? I guess that's a coincidence, right? It's a hell of a coincidence if it's a coincidence.